Good morning, this is Jack from Chartered Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 12th of August. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartedmarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. Okay, right, we got some numbers out today, and they're the CPI numbers, and I'm wondering if they're out already, actually. Because we've had this little spike up on ES, waiting to see. I don't know what the numbers are yet, though I will be looking. Let's see if I can actually find that on ground news. Bear with me a moment. That should be under US economy. Nope. News this morning is that E.J. Antoni is being nominated as Bureau of Labour Statistics Commissioner. He's a political hack from the Heritage Foundation, who did his PhD 5 years ago and has absolutely no record of anything other than being a strong Trump loyalist. Trump also signed an order extending the China tariff truce by 90 days. Haven't got anything on the inflation yet, but obviously everyone's waiting for those numbers. The expectation is that inflation is going to go over 3% this month, so we'll see whether that happens. All right. Now, yesterday I was saying I was looking for some retracement. We saw it. That's been more or less reversed by this little move in the last few minutes. We will see how it goes. We've still got a 60-minute sell signal fixed that hasn't made target yet. NQ hasn't. We've still got a sell signal that hasn't made target yet either. They may not make target, of course. So it wouldn't take an awful lot to fail them. We will see whether that happens today. RTY, you see, we've seen in the last hour, we've seen all of these move up. I'm thinking the inflation numbers may well be out. Hang on 1 second. CPI came in lower. In that case, we may start seeing the obvious outstanding stuff. I'm expecting NQ to make a new all-time high, and it's very, very close. And I've been looking for the same on ES and SPX as well. Neither of those are too far away, so we will see. YM, no current divergence. DAX looks an awful lot like a bull flag forming, but on ESTX, we've got a head and shoulders, which is actually broken down. But this, of course, could reject, move back up over the monthly pivot at 5369.75. Little above that would fail. Certainly over 5375 would fail the head and shoulders and basically retest that high. We've got a 6-minute sell signal fixed on ESTX as well. Not sure. We'll have to see where the hour ends for whether that's made target. At the moment, I'm leaning against it. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. On ES, obviously we saw a pullback, but we didn't see a test of the daily middle band. And on Q's the same. DIA and IWM both continue to close under their daily middle band. I am wondering about that, and I'll be very interested to see whether that continues happening today. But at the moment, looking at RTY and YM, both of them getting, well, RTY particularly getting a strong move today. DIA, a less strong move, but we'll see how that goes. But RTY, that was a pretty impressive move, actually. All right, so looking at the short terms, with nothing really on the hourly charts. 15-minute sell signal here made the possible near miss target, and we had some positive divergence. I had drawn in this possible alternative channel support that broke. So I'll be looking at that again. Looking at that's on the Qs. Looking at SPX, rising support there. The new one held, so that may continue to hold. I'll see if I can work out anything more from that in terms of a possible pattern. And on DIA, we broke the rising support trend line I'd done, which is a shame. We had a couple of nice looking support trend lines there. Looking at IWM. IWM, we obviously closed below the daily middle band again. We've got on the 15-minute chart no current divergence. Could be topping action, but nothing really particularly suggesting that it is. And we are looking at potentially a break over this declining resistance if this opening move we've just seen persists into RTH. DAX. Really backtesting the daily middle band. If it holds it, then really I'm looking for a retest of this all-time high here at 26.4k. Nikkei not really moved significantly from yesterday, but we're within range of a retest of this high here at 42.4k, and I still think that is likely. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX, where hang on, the CPI data has been weakening slightly. So hang on, I'll just, sorry, it's a little slow to update the data, but I can force it by doing this. We had a little level bottom break up here at the moment. That looks an awful lot like it's going to fail. Still in two minds about DX here. This could be failing into a retest of the lows, which this double top is suggesting. This double bottom here could have threatened, no, sorry, this head and shoulders is suggesting. That could have threatened it. I'd drawn the level at which the head and shoulders would fail, but obviously at the moment it's rejecting back downwards. Looking at ZB, we had a little spike up on the CPI data, and that makes sense because if the CPI data is coming lower than expected, then that reduces the chances of an interest rate cut. ZN, we've seen a little bit of a bounce, but we've still got this overall rising wedge suggesting that that bonds are going to be heading down, and the bigger picture bonds charts are fairly supportive of that. CL, we've just been consolidating. This is likely bearish. We'll see how this goes. I mean, there are a number of things that can affect. I mean, I was talking at the yesterday and on the bigger picture about the bigger picture and where this might, and the reasons why we may well go back to retest the low in the mid-50s. But I've got to say it's a complex situation. Saudi has boosted production, but of course, if we see any issues with Russian exports, like for instance, India starting to buy it from elsewhere, then that of course could push oil prices up. But at the moment, this still looks on a downward trend. We've got a potential level bottom here on HO, which is not showing any signs of breaking up. If it doesn't, then I've really got a target down here at a retest of 2.2. On RBOB, we've got a what looks an awful lot like a bear flag, which is broken down with a target at a retest of this low here at 2.014. Sure, that looks a little. Okay, not sure of that number. It's got a trend line in the way. Hang on, wait a second. Yeah, basically 2.015. So really, I'm kind of leaning towards saying that. So overall, that's leaning bearish. NG, we've got a potential level bottom here, not showing any signs of breaking up, but we could be just retesting the low again to set up a nested double bottom. I do have a very attractive target down in the 2.65 area, which I'd quite like to see hit. But really, if it's going to get hit, I'd like to see that done within the next week or two, because we have the watch list here. We are actually, no, the move from September to October is only an increase of 0.1, but the next two are 0.4 and, well, almost 0.6. And then a 0.3. We've got a little window here to see more reductions if we can. After that, it's going to be swimming against the tide. So we will see. I like 2.65. We'll see whether we can make it. GC, got a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed here. We saw a bit of a retrace here. Apart from anything else, I don't know how much impact this had on the bigger picture, because Trump has now said that there will not be tariffs on gold. So I think that's probably the main reason for this big reduction here. One wonders how many of the president's friends actually have advance notice of these things. There are some big moves. We'll see. All right. Well, we probably won't see on that one, but one wonders. All right. SI, we've got a potential little head and shoulders here, which is breaking down. It wouldn't take a lot to reject it. Just to move back over the weekly pivot would fail the head and shoulders. But at the moment, that's really got a retest of the targeted a retest of this low here in about the 36.3 area. On palladium, possible bottoming action, 6-minute buy signal was reached, possible near miss target. On platinum, 6-minute buy signal is fixed, but we've got this little flag here which is breaking down, which looks like the obvious pattern to be following here. HG, this still looks like a very, very, very tight bear flag forming. UUSD looks like a flag which is about to break up, and obviously if that breaks up, then that would be supporting dollar down. GBP USD has gone higher, which is supporting dollar down is there's no real obvious topping pattern here yet. USD JPY this looks quite a lot like a bear flag. Is it a bear flag channel? Hang on, wait a second. Probably not, but it's close enough that I'm wondering. No, it isn't. But this kind of still looks like a bear flag. I am wondering if this might break down, and of course that would be supporting dollar down. We had a possible weak 60-minute sell signal brewing, and that is fixed and is reaching target fairly rapidly. USD CAD, wondering about some reduction here. We've actually got a possible weak 6-minute sell signal fixing here. So if that gets below the strong support at the weekly pivot and the monthly pivot, again, that's supporting dollar down. So short term, obviously the news is negative for the dollar. Australian dollar, I'm wondering about a possible bull flag forming here. NZUSD, we've had a head and shoulders here, and it's on the cusp of failing. Needs to get over this level here, which is basically retesting. We'll see how that goes, but that would be rejection up to the highs. But this is not even a member of the USD index, so that wouldn't actually have any impact. KC, I've got a nice looking bear flag. I've been saying this is likely forming a bear flag for days, and I've got a nice looking one here. We'll see how that goes. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. Sugar, it's too late for this to break up as an IHS, I think. But we have been seeing a bit of a rally. I am wondering whether this might be an A, B, C bear flag and maybe go up into about 1750 area. Looking at CC, CC is getting pretty close to the IHS target, just under 9,000. CT, I'm quite liking this double bottom here. As I said, this is a very natural area for CT to be bottoming out. So we will see how that develops. But if this breaks up over 67.75 and can get over and convert the monthly pivot, then we could see a pretty decent move here. Lumber has gone lower, and it's gone lower than the possible neckline that I was watching here. This is not a head and shoulders breaking down. Watching that with interest, no current positive divergence. ZW, this looks like had a possible IHS forming here, arguably. Actually, if I draw the line across here, it broke up and has now failed, in which case it's likely heading back into the low. So looking for a retest of this low here in about the 503 area. Looking at corn, possible bottoming action. Soy, watching this falling wedge. We haven't made it to falling wedge resistance yet. I do have targets below on both wheat and soy, which still look pretty good. Soybean oil has now made the full target on this double top we had breakdown here. No particular sign of it reversing back up at the moment. Live cattle, still got a nice looking double top. HE, still got a nice looking potential bear flag forming, but no obvious resistance trend line, which isn't necessarily a bar, but is just worth noting. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. Okay, no questions. So at the moment, we've still got targets above and retested the all-time high on ES and, on SPX and the Qs, and NQ. Qs have made it already. NQ is getting pretty close. ES and SPX pretty close. I'm expecting to see those targets made. We could see double tops there, and I'll be watching RTY and YM with particular interest to see whether they can get back over and confirm their daily middle bands. If they can, then potentially we've got higher targets to go to. If they can't, then we might actually just be setting up to fail that. So we shall see how that goes. All right, great. In that case, everyone take care. I'll catch you again tomorrow morning.